What if I told you that almost every single sentence you will ever say in English is built upon just 3 simple verbs? It's true. These 3 verbs are not just vocabulary, they are the fundamental pillars that hold the entire English language up. If you don't master them, your English will always feel weak and unstable. Does this sound familiar? You're trying to form a simple sentence like asking a question, and you get confused. Should you use are you or do you? Or you're describing your day and you're not sure if you should say I am tired or I have tired. These small mistakes are so common and they instantly signal to a native speaker that you are a beginner. It's frustrating because you know the words, but the basic structure feels shaky. Today, we are going to fix your foundation forever. I'm going to give you a simple system to finally master the 3 most important verbs in English: to be, to do, and to have. We are not going to memorize boring grammar charts. We are going to understand the specific job that each of these verbs has in a sentence. By the end of this lesson, you will have a clear and confident understanding of these 3 pillars. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Zen Podcast. My name is Liam. Our goal today is to build a strong and stable base for your English. Let's start with the first and perhaps most important pillar, the verb to be. Let's begin with our first and perhaps most important pillar, the verb to be. In its different forms, am, is, are, was, were, this verb has 2 main jobs in the English language. If you understand these 2 jobs, you will use it correctly almost every time. Job number 1 is to describe. We use to be to describe a noun, which means to say something about its quality, its state, or its identity. We use it to describe things with adjectives. For example, the car is fast. I am tired. They are happy. We also use it to describe a person's identity or profession with a noun. For example, she is a doctor. We are students. And we use it to describe a location. The book is on the table. My parents are in London. In all these sentences, the verb to be is not an action. It is a connection, like an equal sign. It connects the subject with its description. The second main job of the verb to be is to be a helper verb. It helps other main verbs to form more complex tenses. The most common one you will see is the present continuous, which is for actions happening right now. It uses to be plus a verb with ing. For example, I am talking right now. You are learning English. In this situation, talking and learning are the main actions. Am and are just there to help. So if you are describing something or talking about an action happening right now, you will probably need to use the verb to be. It's the verb of existence and state. But what about when we want to talk about actions in general? For that, we need our second very powerful pillar, which we'll cover next. So to be is the verb of state and description. This brings us to our second powerful pillar, the verb to do. Just like to be, this verb has 2 very important and distinct jobs. Its first job is simple. It can be a main verb itself, meaning to perform an action or a task. You use it all the time. For example, I do my homework in the evening. Or in the past tense, she did a great job on the presentation. In these sentences, do and did are the main actions. But the second job of to do is its most important one. It acts as a helper verb to ask questions and to make negative sentences in the simple present and simple past tenses. This is where many beginners get confused. Remember the question, are you or do you? The rule is simple. If there is no verb to be in the original sentence, you need to do to help you ask a question. Look at this simple sentence. You like coffee. There is no am, is, or are, so to ask a question, you add do at the beginning. Do you like coffee? For he or she, you use does. She likes tea becomes, does she like tea? It's the same for negative sentences. You like coffee becomes you do not like coffee, or more commonly, you don't like coffee. She likes tea becomes she does not like tea, or she doesn't like tea. To do is the verb of action. If you are talking about an action in the simple present or simple past, and you need to ask a question or make it negative, do is your best friend. It's the helper that makes it all possible. Now we have a verb for state and a verb for action. But what about the things we possess or experience? For that, we need our third and final pillar, the verb to have. Now we have our pillar of state, to be, and our pillar of action, to do. This brings us to our third and final pillar, which is all about possession, experiences, and completion, the verb to have. Just like our other two verbs, to have has two main jobs. Its first job is the one you probably already know. As a main verb, it means to possess, own, or hold something. For example, I have a new car. She has blue eyes. It's very simple. But the meaning of possession in English is a little bigger. We also use have to talk about actions and experiences. This is very important. In many languages, you might say, I take a shower, but in English, we say, I have a shower. We don't eat breakfast, we have breakfast. We don't make a party, we have a party. Think of have as the verb for experiencing things. The second job of have is, you guessed it, to be a helper verb. It helps other main verbs to form the perfect tenses, like the present perfect. The present perfect tense is a big topic, but the simple idea is that we use it to connect the past with the present. For example, if I say, I have seen that movie, seen is the main action. The word have is just the helper that tells you this past experience is important or relevant to me now. Don't worry about mastering the perfect tenses today. The only thing you need to remember is that when you see have followed by another verb in its past participle form, like seen, eaten, or gone, its job is to be a helper. Now that we know the individual jobs of our three pillars, to be for descriptions, to do for actions, and to have for possession, the final step is to know which one to use when you are forming a sentence. I'm going to give you a 3-step decision system. When you want to say something, ask yourself these 3 questions in order. Question 1. Am I describing something? Am I talking about a quality, an identity, a location, or a feeling? Is the verb to be like an equal sign? For example, the weather equals nice. If the answer is yes, then you need pillar number 1, to be. The weather is nice. He is a teacher. I am happy. If you are not describing something, then you ask question 2, am I talking about a general action? Is there another verb in the sentence, like play, work, eat, or study? If the answer is yes, then for questions and negatives, you need pillar number 2, to do. For example, in the sentence, you study English, the action is study. So the question is, do you study English? And the negative is, you don't study English. Finally, if you are not describing something and not talking about a general action, ask question 3. Am I talking about possession or experience? Am I talking about something I have or an experience like having breakfast or having a party? If the answer is yes, then you need pillar number 3, to have. I have 2 brothers. Have you seen this movie? This simple decision system is your mental roadmap. By asking these 3 questions, you will build the instinct to choose the right verb automatically. In our final part, we will do a quick review of everything and celebrate your new solid foundation in English. This simple decision system is your new mental roadmap. By asking those 3 questions in order, am I describing? Am I using a general action? Am I talking about possession? You will build the instinct to choose the correct verb automatically without thinking about complex grammar rules. You have now repaired your foundation. Let's do a final simple review of our 3 pillars. Pillar number 1, to be, is the verb of existence. Its job is to describe qualities, identities, and locations. Pillar number 2, to do, is the verb of action. Its main job is to be the helper for questions and negatives with other action verbs. And pillar number 3, to have, is the verb of possession and experience. Mastering these 3 verbs is not just about passing a grammar test. It's about building the confidence to form sentences clearly and correctly. They are the engine of your English communication. When you are confident with these 3 verbs, you have the power and the freedom to express almost any basic idea you want. Your foundation is no longer shaky, it is solid. For your challenge today, I want you to write 3 simple sentences in the comments, 1 using to be, 1 using to do, and 1 using to have. Show me your new solid foundation. If this lesson was helpful, a simple like is always appreciated. And please subscribe for more simple guides to the most important parts of English. Thank you for building your foundation with me today. I am Liam, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Keep practicing.